We are standing up against some of the most sinister forces, entrenched interests, and vicious opponents our people have ever seen. You could say our country has never seen anything like it. But no matter how big or powerful these corrupt radicals may be, you must never forget our nation does not belong to them. Our nation belongs to you. America is on the edge of an abyss, and our movement is the only force on earth that can save it. This movement right here. The fake news, they never even question it because there's never been anything like it. Our MAGA movement is by far the greatest political movement in the history of our country. And you know what it really stands for? Loving our country. That's all it is. The job that's been done is unbelievable. You are the loyal defenders of our heritage, our liberty, our culture, our Constitution, and our God-given rights. You never stop fighting for America, and I will never, ever stop fighting for you. It won't happen. I think we have to do what we have to do to bring our nation back, right? We have to run aggressive, unrelenting, and boldly populist campaigns. Populist, we want to be populist. We want to love our country. That's what we want. This is no time for complacency. We cannot be complacent. Our country is being destroyed more from the inside than out. Frankly, like never before. And just hope that the recession doesn't turn into a depression, because the way they're doing things, it could be a lot worse than a recession. Because what you've seen in the past might be small potatoes compared to what happens. So be very, very careful. You remember when I was campaigning, I used to say, not thinking this could even be very possible, but it always had a chance. It will be Venezuela, large scale, or Venezuela on steroids. That's what's happening to our country. It's not even thinkable. And we have to throw off the shackles of globalism and reassert two very important words. You know what the words are? America first. It's a very simple thing. We have to put our country first. We had that done, and we were doing great. We have to take this chance to shatter the corrupt Washington establishment once and for all. We have to seize this opportunity to deal with the radical left, socialist lunatics and fascists, and we have to hit them very, very hard. It has to be a crippling defeat because our country cannot take it. And they're not finished yet. You know, they still have a little time left, because now they have an excuse to do whatever they're doing. And I will tell you, it would have never, ever happened in a million years under Trump. I can tell you that. Under the Trump administration, we had the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had no inflation. We had no inflation. It was just, nobody could even believe it. We gave you the largest tax cuts and regulation cuts in American history. After the pandemic, we handed the radical Democrats the fastest economic recovery ever recorded, the history of our country ever recorded. We created the safest border in U.S. history by far. By far. And we created a thing called Space Force. They smiled at it. Remember the first day they laughed at it? Oh, Space Force. They thought they were going to end it. And the public went crazy because you people know much more than they do. I rebuilt our military, including our nuclear capability, and we hope to God we never have to use it. We were going to be energy dominant. Now the United States is becoming a beggar for energy. We're begging. And the labor force participation is the worst in many, many decades. That's the number that you have to look at. And now it's the worst border ever in history. There's never been a border like it, and that includes, in my opinion, third world countries, because there's no third world country that would allow millions of people to pour in. They have no idea. And the number of people coming in, that's not 3 million, 4 million. In my opinion, it would be anywhere from 10 to 15 million people this year. 10 to 15 million people. We have no idea who the hell they are. That's when we become Greece. That's when we become a country that's unsalvageable. And we're going to be there very soon. We're going to be there very soon. That was a lesson for us all. What happened? We're trying to figure out what the hell happened. Where did this new philosophy come from all of a sudden? They surrendered our strength and our everything, our dignity. Our country is being systematically destroyed. And everybody knows it. Job number one for the next Congress and the next president will be to restore public safety. Every American of every background deserves to live in safety and in peace. Every American. Savage criminals are being released on cashless bail to continue their violent rampages against the United States of America. A tremendous indicator of what's happening in our country. If they'd use the same energy to go and make our country great, it would be an incredible thing, but I don't know if they can do that. Another key priority for the next Congress and the next president will be to drain the swamp once and for all. We can't do it anymore. We got to run this country properly. To remove rogue bureaucrats and root out the deep state, Congress should pass groundbreaking reform, empowering the president to ensure that any federal employee who is corrupt, incompetent, or unnecessary for the job can be told, "You're fired." You ever hear that? You're fired. Prosperity and prestige will come back, and it'll come back strongly. Victory cannot come a moment too soon. We will restore patriotic education to our schools. And we will teach our children to love their country, honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. And Common Core. Common Core it is a disaster. Education has to be local. This is your heritage, and our American liberty is your God-given right. We will not bend, we will not break, we will not yield. We will never give in, we will never give up, we will never ever back down, because we are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God, including all of the hardworking activists who dedicate their lives to preserving a thing called American freedom. They're incredible people. Because faith is lifting up our souls, American pride is beating in our hearts, and pure, unflinching courage is coursing through our veins. We want to talk about greatness for our country. We don't want to talk about the things we've been talking about. What have we been talking about? COVID, the environment. The sea is going to rise 1/100th of an inch within the next 300 years. And it is time to start talking about greatness for our country again. We want to talk about greatness. We really do have to get going. Because believe me, we're in a bubble. We have artificially low interest rates. We have a stock market that, frankly, it's been good to me, but I still hate to see what's happening. We have a stock market that is so bloated. Be careful of a bubble. We have people that don't have it. We have people that are morally corrupt. We have people that are selling this country down the drain. We have to rebuild our infrastructure, our bridges, our roadways, our airports. You come into LaGuardia Airport, it's like we're in a third world country. Rebuild the country's infrastructure. Nobody can do that like me, believe me. Now, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that to brag, because you know what? I don't have to brag. I don't have to, believe it or not. I'm doing that to say that that's the kind of thinking our country needs. We need that thinking. We have the opposite thinking. You look at these airports, we are like a third world country. And I come in from China, and I come in from Qatar, and I come in from different places. And they have the most incredible airports in the world. We have losers. We have losers. What they do is unbelievable. How bad? Sadly, the American dream is dead. My fellow Americans, this incredible journey we are on together has only just begun. This is your home, and together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. By making the United States, by making us rich again, by taking back all of the money that's being lost. And strengthen our military and take care of our vets. So important. We will make